Welcome to another cycle of Dirty Laundry Clean Confessions, a family podcast created for the next generation. Grandma Smarge can't wait to see what you'll become, Monk and Little Al. Live, pre-recorded from our family laundry room, with Smarge, Hoss, and sometimes Otter, and always not the real guest. Here we hang it on the line with everyday ordinary people who are doing extraordinary things. In the room where famous people are loved, adored, and admired, however, not invited. Except for the great Willie Nelson, of course. Thanks for joining us in the laundry room while we fold through life's journeys. Here, we're keeping it real, washing through stains, and making colors a little bit brighter. Live, pre-recorded from the family laundry room. How are you guys?
Quite possibly the earliest podcast we've ever done.
We are impressed.
This is actually podcasts and lattes. We always do podcasts.
Lap dances.
Lap dances, yeah. And this is latte. I kind of like our guest looks upset. He's like, that wasn't the option. I didn't get that option. What is that all about?
Well, good thing we didn't do too early. He wanted to be on at 7 a.m. or 6 a.m.
He had said 6 a.m. and Smarge.
10 was our compromise.
Yeah. Smarge cannot do. But it was so funny. Smarge didn't cave. Hoss caved. Hoss is the one that said, hey, yesterday, should we try and text our guest and ask, just to give you an extra hour and everything? And I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. We can start at 10.
I had
this planned.
I was nervous.
I'm honestly so proud of you, Smarge.
I'm so proud.
Being up
I'm proud of all of us.
Ready.
I'm proud of all of us. And we even had a birthday party here last night. Happy birthday to one of our other NTRGs that have been on Aaron.
Not the real Aaron.
Not the real Aaron. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
So
how's everybody's laundry situation? How are we feeling?
Well,
what's going on?
I'm doing laundry like every other day with the baby.
That's
so
true.
You do notice the difference.
I do notice the difference, yes. Because it's not even so much when she makes a mess. She has plenty of clothes, but half the time the spit up is on me.
Right.
And it's all of you.
I gotta wash my clothes. Yeah, it's a lot of laundry.
But a lot of laundry, but
and
you're loving it.
Is Little Otter helping yet? Have you taught her the
No, I tell her exactly what we're doing now. Like, we rate our whole day. I'm like, and now we're folding the underwear, and now we're folding the pants, and these are your dad's, and these are yours,
and this is where they go, and
this is the drawer. And
that's cute.
She takes it all in.
That's good. So. She's gonna learn how to speak before we know it.
Oh, she's such a babbler right now.
She was over, and she just had a lot to say.
I know. We're gonna have to have her on here soon.
We're gonna have all three of them on now that they're
my gosh, they should just do like a little 10-minute of babbling.
That would be so cute.
Have our little sudsies on. Yeah.
How's your laundry situation?
Good.
Now that you're an empty nester, congratulations.
Yeah. It was supposed to start like a couple weeks ago.
Or 10 years ago.
And 10 years ago, in the perfect world. But about 2 weeks ago, my I guess she's my third, finally found a great apartment that they love. And so they moved out, and within 30 minutes of them moving out, my youngest showed up at the front door with the family and the doggies because they had shut off all their power because it was so windy. They wanted to...
That was crazy.
Prevent any sort of fires happening. But also when you shut down water these days...
Power,
you lose your water because the water is on an internet system.
What?
What?
In these new houses or what?
No.
Internet? Water and internet? This
Something about it tells Smarge it's a very, very wrong. But anyway, so they stayed for 3 days, and then Poppy and I got to go on vacation. We came back, and I was lucky my oldest stayed here with baby Al, little Al, and they were great. They were great house sitters, but they kind of got into their groove, so they stayed for like 2 more days. And then they packed up and left. On a Sunday, Poppy and I went out for, a couple hours to get something to eat. We came home, and there was our great friend, Tony. And she stayed for 2 days. And my niece showed up and stayed for a night.
Oh, my gosh.
So we have technically now had the house to ourselves 1 night.
And not even.
I was going to say,
we did. It was the night we put the basement together.
Oh.
It was the night before last.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Okay.
But that's okay. I've noticed that while it's killing Poppy sometimes because he needs his downtime, I'm like, God, why is it so quiet?
Yeah, I don't think you like to be alone very often. It's weird. You need like background.
But I need something going on, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, funny thing, guys, both of you, I was at the brewery, I don't know, a while ago, open mic night, Green Mountain Brewery. Shout out to them. We love that brewery. It's kind of our family brewery. They have open mic on Sunday. And I ran into, I believe, one of your teachers from Red Rocks Elementary.
No way.
Oh, my goodness.
What a small world.
Yes.
And he is our NTRG today.
Was he in the band? Was he playing in the
Yes.
band? Oh, my gosh.
He was playing, and then he played backup. I was there to support Little Al's dad. It was the first time he was doing open mic there. So I don't know if G Diddy rings a bell, or would Mr. H ring a bell?
Oh, my gosh.
We know exactly who you're talking about. And
that
I
was
think
our
that
favorite
brings us to
teacher.
our confession.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think I've ever really thought about what teachers do in their spare time. Like, I didn't actually realize that teachers have their own lives.
Yeah, you
outside
don't
of
really,
school.
especially when you're younger.
Yeah.
You're like, they
Yeah.
were where? They're at the grocery store? Why would my teacher be at the grocery
Yeah.
store?
Oh, I grew up in a bar, and so it was really weird for me every time the
Oh.
teachers would walk into the bar.
Oh, God.
So I'm like,
Wait
oh,
a
these
minute.
worlds do not mesh.
No, teachers have fun too?
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
home grading my masterpieces?
Yeah, no, so I grew up in a bar, and I would see the teachers,
Okay.
come in on their Friday after work. And
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Okay.
God.
So,
so yeah, we have our guest, G Diddy here.
G
G Diddy, we're so excited to have you
Thank
here.
you
Oh
so
my
much.
God.
It was so
Welcome.
great meeting you that night.
Honored.
It was
fun.
and it was
I
hilarious.
met your
'cause-
daughter first.
Yes, that's right. Yep. But no, it was great running into you. And then I was like, I know exactly who your students were,
Yes.
because I see them at least once a month, because my own daughters wouldn't do this with me. But
Really?
these guys are great. Yeah.
They are awesome.
Aren't
I've
they?
known them since they were,
6.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was going to ask, like,
First grade.
first grade. So what was the class you taught, or classes?
I was physical education.
Okay.
Some
Okay.
call it gym teacher,
Okay.
which I'm fine with.
Oh, some gym teachers, PE teachers,
hate it.
They hate it because gym is where you
can say
do
gym
PE.
teacher.
Gym is the location.
Gym is
Oh.
a place,
Yeah.
not a,
Oh.
Not a
not a
thing.
job.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
But-
fair,
So
yeah.
I guess I
But-
guess it's kind of developed a slang as
Yeah.
an overall.
Well, yeah, and I taught music, but that reminds me of the story. My first year teaching, I taught at a kindergarten in Cortez, Four Corners.
Oh, what?
Oh,
And
yeah.
it was 13 kindergarten classes back to back, 20 minutes apiece.
Oh my God.
Oh,
What?
wow.
Exhausting.
But I was 27, so I was young and energetic. And
Wow.
they did not call it physical education nor gym. In fact, we met in a multi-purpose room, so they couldn't say multi-purpose. It was movement ed. And so
Oh.
all the-
Movement ed. I thought you were going to say Elks Club or something.
No, it was movement ed. But then when I would see the kids, it was a small town, when I'd see them out in the supermarket or somewhere, they said, "Hey, Mom, there's Mr. Ed."
Oh, Mr. Oh, that's
So
great.
I became Mr. Ed.
Okay.
Cute.
Which reminds me of another story. I'm sorry, stop. me.
No.
No,
No. This is what we do
actually, we
here.
want you to tell your
We
story.
called you called me Mr. H, and I had a propensity for injuring children,
Okay, okay. do
not
tell.
purposefully.
Yeah. A little bit of clumsiness.
We were doing
there or
juggling, I believe, and,
something?
and we were doing these little bowling pins, not real ones.
I do
fake
remember
ones.
those. And the scarves.
Well, there was a
I was so
little
bad
student walking in front of me. I didn't know, and I was tossing it to another person as she walked right at that time. I hit her in the eye, gave her a
at it.
black eye.
Oh, no.
A few others that I'll spare you from, but one day I came to school and there were cones and hazardous tape around my front door, danger zone, and I became Mr. Hazard after that.
Oh, Mr.
Nice.
Hazard.
I love
Nice.
that, actually.
What year was that?
I wish we knew that.
Was this at Red Rocks?
That was probably,
Oh,
it was, the girl had only been there a couple years. I can't even remember. Yeah, I think they left after that.
After the
I didn't
beating.
injure either of you, did I?
I think so. I feel like I
No.
would have remembered that,
No.
but I get hurt all the time.
So how
You were
long
much
have you been
more
teaching?
I was
physically
accident prone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
man.
when did you start? Is this
90. Well, I started in about 92, 93 in Cortez.
and this is what you chose? Were you choosing this?
Is that, what
Did
kind
you-
of question is that?
Yeah.
You
Well, okay.
chose to be a teacher?
Did you? Well,
I was
Some
called
people-
to it. I didn't
well.
choose it.
Also,
It
season
chose
3 is
me.
about following your passion.
I'm doing that now.
Work
we'll
or
talk
play.
about that later.
But
Yeah.
this is more of a calling than a passion.
Mhm.
Like, this is something you knew.
It was both. I love kids.
Okay. How
In a
old were
healthy
you when?
way.
I mean,
Let's
I
clear that
appreciate-
up real quick.
I appreciate that. that makes it really easy and quickly cleared up in this day and age. But how So with your calling, like a lot of 20-year-olds don't walk around saying they like kids. I mean, it takes some individuals, some special individuals, I think, that like kids and want to hang out with kids all the time.
Yeah.
I think she's asking what really sparked your interest. What?
Well, I actually,
Thank you.
I grew up in the church, went to youth group, all that stuff, and I thought I was going to be a youth leader.
Okay.
But then, and I actually started studying geology because my dad said this was the late 80s. Geology was a thing.
Oh, yeah, because of gas and
the
oil industry.
And after a couple chemistry classes, I was like, no, this isn't for me.
Not for me.
Pass.
So I went back to what I really did want to do, was work with kids. And so I took 7.5 years to get through college, graduated with about 230 credits. I think it only takes 130 to graduate. But
that's how I did it.
And so what was the question?
What sparked your interest in
Like,
teaching?
how did you know?
So I always
I
wanted to go with kids. And then,
my days.
even when I was in jail, I'm like, this isn't what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I was an athlete.
Okay.
Makes
in
sense.
high school. Loved
okay.
sports.
Okay. Well,
But I went to a small school, so I did sports, music, band. Yes, I was a band geek.
I
So
like
it makes
Choir,
sense.
swing choir, musicals. I did everything.
Wow.
So it makes perfect
Nice.
sense that you ended up at a small school and taught all
both.
of that.
Yeah, perfect. It was a perfect fit.
It is a
Yeah.
perfect
It
fit.
was a godsend. I got
Yeah.
let go from Cherry Creek, not because of anything I did.
Let's clear
Let's
that
just
up.
clear that up.
Yeah, I liked it.
Or injury.
need it
And
head on.
not injuring any more children.
But they didn't pass the mill levy that year. I was probationary teacher, and they were like, "You got to go." And
That would be so
a friend
tough.
of mine lived in Morrison, and
What
said-
friend? What friend?
can I say the name? He's the mayor now.
Oh.
Well, he's probably used
cool.
to his name in media then.
Best friend is
I think
the mayor.
I think it'd be safe to say his name, don't you? Because he's in media.
I don't even know who the mayor is anymore. The last person I
think
knew
it's
was
fine.
Jake Williams' dad. But
Oh man, that's been years.
I know. I'm so
Jake
out.
Chris Wolf is actually the mayor.
Chris Will.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I obviously.
He was
you
best
know,
man
Trevor.
at my wedding.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh my
And
God.
he's mayor of Morrison.
Oh, he
He
should
is
be
the
the
current mayor.
Of
Yes.
Oh, nice.
I am
so
the
cool.
unofficial mayor.
Okay.
Just to get that clear.
Okay.
But he is
So-
the political mayor.
What
wow.
does
I
unofficial
kiss
mayor do?
babies
Like
and
what?
shake
Oh,
hands.
gotcha. You're the
And drink at
PR.
the Morrison holiday
You
bar.
are the
No.
PR.
And falls asleep during
Yeah.
important things.
Does that come from a reference? Because it's so true.
Sleepy Joe.
Sleepy Joe. Oh, is that another nickname?
Well, you said kiss babies. And
Oh, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
Sleepy
Yes.
Joe.
do we need to clarify?
Gotcha.
that's
No,
not what
I
you-
got it now. I was a little
No, we're-
slow. It is in the morning.
Nope,
Okay, gotcha.
Okay,
Our
sorry.
coffees haven't really set in yet. I
No.
don't
No.
think.
Not
So
a
we,
morning
when we're trying to
person.
offset it with Modelo.
Have
so.
I mentioned I ramble a bit?
So do we.
So Chris knew, you guys remember Miss Namuro was the
Oh yeah,
She
principal
was the
there.
best.
that was probably like if you had to say the best like era of Red Rocks, right?
Oh, by far.
Like Namura,
Yeah.
Goings, Schwartz, Kothra, Moore,
Hmm?
Yeah.
They were the
solid
best.
crew.
Oh, and
You, of course.
Goings.
Goings,
Yeah.
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 She was great.
Stevens,
Mama G, we used to call her.
Mama G.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Miss Stevens. She was great too.
Oh, Mama G was her daughter. but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stevens was
Yeah.
great too.
Yeah, and Miss Namura was Miss Schwartz's aunt, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss
Yeah.
Miss Schwartz. She was the best.
On
Those
Paul,
were the best
shout
years.
out.
And that's when education was fun too.
Yeah.
But that's another conversation.
Uh,
So Chris Wolf, he knew I was looking for a job,
Mm-hmm.
and his kids, he had 4 boys that all went to Red Rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And just by chance, it was one of those jobs where the PE teacher was half-time, the music teacher was half-time. They wanted full-time, so they'd stay there for 1 or 2 years and then go off full-time. And so Chris told Miss Namura, he says, I got a friend who can teach music, and I don't have a degree in music.
But you had your.
But I played
Okay, yeah,
music,
I
and
know.
I had taken some classes, enough at that time where you could be highly qualified.
Right.
And so I interviewed and got the job in spite of Mr. Acevedo. You guys did you
Oh,
have Mr.
wasn't
Acevedo?
he like a 5th or 6th grade teacher?
Yeah. We became
We never
great-
had him, but I do know who you're
Oh, we
talking about.
became really good friends once I started working there, but he played sax and knew music, and boy, he grilled me on the interview.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you really do this? And so after the interview, Kathy offered me the job, and I'm like, I don't think I want to do it. That guy doesn't like me, and I don't.
How old are you at
Too
this
much
point?
pressure.
At that point,
Yeah.
or this point,
No, at that point. At that point.
I was probably 30.
So you're still dealing with building probably your self-confidence and everything, and
I still am.
oh, you
Yes,
still are.
I
Okay.
was then.
Well, I have to say you came in very confident. So kudos to you. Green lights all the way to you for
good.
you.
Your kids never saw
The
it.
swan story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
But-
That's true.
So you're about 30, and you're like this. This person doesn't like me.
Oh, and he was very intimidating.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
But she said, "Oh no, don't worry about him. You can do this." And
Oh.
first year was awful in music.
Oh.
It was awful. I mean,
I am so sorry to
PE
hear
was
that.
fine, but teaching music, I didn't know what I was doing.
No.
Oh,
We would have never known.
You figured it out when we got there. Because I
Yeah.
think I remember even things that you've taught me from that.
I will tell you this: the kids, it was tough. They, it was tough, and I do remember my first music program with the 6th graders, and I had never taught 6th grade. All my schools were up through 5th. And
Yeah,
6th
right.
grade kind
Okay.
of intimidated me too, because they're,
Yeah.
6th graders.
They're getting
Yeah.
smarter. You can't
And,
just
sassier.
yeah, they're getting smarter.
I remember we
sassier.
did a music program. And the kids hated it, but we changed the words. You guys probably remember this song, Gangster's Paradise.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know the original.
Yeah, maybe ask
I-
Otter.
Living
my
in
memory.
Gangster's Paradise. I don't
Who
know.
sang
That's all
it?
I can remember.
Do you remember?
It was,
That sounds kind of familiar.
It
it
sounds
wasn't
really familiar,
Vitamin
but-
C, but it was around that.
Okay.
era.
Okay.
I don't remember who did it. Somebody's listening and saying, it was,
Yeah.
This is supposed to be my job.
Yeah.
somebody
so-
Google it.
Yeah.
Google it.
And
That's what Otter's here for.
so
Thank
we
you, Otter.
we actually did that. It was probably
It
inappropriate
wasn't
at the
Vanilla
time.
Ice, was it?
But, I was trying to
Right,
relate to
liven
the
it up.
kids, give them
Yeah.
Coolio.
something. They hate it.
Coolio.
Coolio.
Coolio. Yes.
And so one of the parents, though, were like, that was great. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, thanks. The kids hated it.
Oh.
No, really?
But, yeah.
So when they hated it, how do you know they hated it?
They pretty much told me.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Or I think the parent who
So
told
there's no body
I think the
language. It was
kid-
just
oh,
verbal.
No.
Oh
It
dear.
was rough.
Oh.
It reminds me of another story I
Okay.
can tell later. But
Okay.
Kids are brutal.
Ah.
Yeah.
And we just want to apologize for being brutal.
Yeah.
you were never brutal.
We were-
Are you sure? Because I remember making a comment about what shampoo do you use because you
Oh, I
didn't have
still
any
get that.
hair.
Did you
You
really?
didn't have any hairs. I'm like, oh, what shampoo do you
Why
use?
Well,
would
oh,
you
wait,
say
wait,
that?
I was a little shit.
Wait.
There is some.
There it is.
There
There
it
it
is.
is.
There's a reason for that, though.
Oh, that's
I
fun.
hate it.
The hair
What's
or no hair?
Yeah, I teach yearbook now, and my students, one of my students said, "What would you look like with hair, Mr. Harrod? You should grow your hair."
Didn't you have an afro?
I did.
Oh my god, how did you know that?
I've seen pictures or something. I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Like in the 70s.
The student that knows too much.
I do know way too much.
But the student said, "You should grow your hair." And what would you look like with hair? And I said, "It's ugly. It's bad. It's a cul-de-sac. You don't want to see it." And she said, "You shave it, or you grow it till the end of the year, and then we'll shave it on the last day." And I thought,
Oh.
well, I've been
kinda
shaving it
cute.
for 30 years or more.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
thought, it might be fun to see what I look like with hair. It's not so fun.
It's not so fun. Aw. But how
But I think it's going to
connected?
get better. It's not
I
that
do want to
great.
say,
That's the
how
great thing.
connected to your students, though?
Uh,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
I mean, that's
yeah,
pretty
we have-
cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
sometimes
If I were a teacher and they said, "Well, just shave your head at the end of the year," I don't know.
They're gonna remember that
to
forever.
be clear, they're
I
not
know.
going to shave it. They're going to do a one guard. I don't trust
What's
them.
okay? Okay. There you
Trust them
go.
with a no guard and definitely not a
Okay.
bic.
So
That's
yeah,
a good
okay.
call.
So
Yeah.
it's gonna have a
Yeah.
guard and it's gonna be a one.
That's a core that's a core memory right there that
Yeah.
you're gonna create for them though.
I
Oh,
think
for
that's
sure.
I
Yeah.
think that's awesome.
I mean, I think you've probably created a lot of core memories for your students. I mean, I know you said before coming onto this podcast, I'm also a music teacher because I think so many people do remember PE.
And I use that term lightly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Jake the Snake, we have to talk about Jake
Oh
the
my
Snake.
god, it was the most
Jake
fun
the
game in the
Snake.
entire
Yes.
world.
It's
We loved
Right.
it.
Tell us what it was made out of.
Yeah.
Because I
so this male PE teacher, Young, came in and started this game with you.
Yeah.
yeah, just to
Jake the
clarify, Jake the
Snake?
Snake was like duct tape on a rope or something.
It was
Sort of.
Ah,
Well, I also had a jump rope team back in
Okay,
the day,
okay.
too. We
Oh,
performed.
yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah.
you guys, you,
You
should
guys were
see.
not on it.
You should see
No,
these little
but I
light
remember
bulbs
it.
going
I remember
off,
jump
guys.
roping.
Yeah,
And
our
they were
stud
good.
buds.
Oh, we had kids
You
doing
should see this.
backflips in the double dutch.
They
and-
were good.
Yeah, yeah.
So we had the long double dutch. They were the little licorice ropes, and so I took the handle off one, put a hole in a tennis ball,
yes.
put a little nut on the end of it, and then duct taped
He
around.
would just swing
Yeah.
it around. I remember everyone got
I'm-
so excited.
Thank you
when
for
he
putting the
brought it
duct
out.
tape on the
Because
bolt
essentially the goal of Jake the Snake was
before you
if it would
swung
wrap around someone's
That's
leg, that
smart.
person was out, right? And then
Right.
the
Extra
last
hazard.
man standing was the
Yes.
winner,
Right.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I changed it because elimination games are not, what we're taught in college.
Whatever.
My
So stupid.
7 years of college.
Huh.
And
Okay.
so then we would do it where I'd have 5 spots out, and when the 6th person went out, the first person got to come in. But then the very last time we would do the ultimate challenge where you could last one standing.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good game.
Well, I remember we could only play if we were like being good, because there was one day, I mean, probably a few days, where we were too obnoxious, and you just take it away, and we're like, we're not gonna play, and everyone.
Did I ever lose it with you guys?
No.
Not the
Not
way
really.
some
Like, is there a certain
Oh.
class that just
Yeah.
you could not jive? Like that one year, you just couldn't jive with it. Like it just didn't matter what you tried. You were pulling your hair
That
out,
one
so to
class?
speak.
No. Never an entire class. Some
Okay.
classes were tougher than others.
But
Especially
not like
But
a
at
whole
that
year.
time
Not a whole
either.
year.
I mean,
Well, and I think we should also give credit to why can't I remember his name? G Diddy. G Diddy.
Diddy.
We should also give credit to G Diddy for the fun run. So that is something that Red Rocks has been doing for 30 some years.
yeah.
And you brought that to the
Oh,
school.
do talk about. But I feel like I cut you off from something.
No,
for the
well, we were
fun
just
run.
talking about Jake.
Jake. Okay.
Jake the Snake.
and
Jake.
that
Yeah.
all went well.
Can't eliminate kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what'd you just bring
The
up?
fun run.
The
Fun
fun
run.
run.
Which I'm sorry to say
Actu-
I hated it because I hate running, but
No, a
it's
lot
still
of
a
people
fond
did.
memory
I
for me.
loved it. I got like first
That's
place
because you were
every
such
year.
an athlete.
Yeah.
So what was the fun run?
Not fun.
Well, it's not like a new concept, but when I student taught, which is where I also learned Jake the Snake, although it was not called that. No, maybe he did call it that. I'd like to take credit, but he also
We'll
did
give
a
it to you.
run with the kids during the school day, and they would run, promote health. So the first year I did it, we did it. What he did was he called it the Pumpkin Fun Run, and I don't know if you guys were there that year.
No,
I
I
don't know what
don't
year
think
you started,
so.
but so we did it on Halloween, and
Okay.
being the PE teacher, promote health, I thought we'll do the pumpkin fun run, and instead of costumes and Halloween parties, we'll do something healthy.
Okay.
Actually, we ended up with a story on 9 News came and covered it that day because here's some schools doing healthy alternatives, and
No
To the-
way.
but it
Okay.
failed. Parents and kids.
They wanted their
no, we want our
costumes.
candy and
And
costumes.
And
costumes.
It
Which is
sounds
fine with me.
cold.
Yeah,
To
well,
be
'cause
running
now
around-
it's in.
Well,
like,
can't you run around in
September.
your costumes then? Can't you do the run in your
That's
costume?
dangerous, Marge.
Oh Jesus, you're
Yeah,
right.
now you're talking to the school nurse. Do not.
Yeah.
You got to.
Well, this is
So
why
the next
Smarge
year we called it.
is not a
we just
teacher.
called it the fun run, which was not.
But I
so
bet my
fun
students
for
would
long.
love me.
And we just ran around
Okay.
Morrison for
Yeah,
what was
we
it,
had
like a mile or 2 miles?
It was 1.8 miles.
Okay, yeah.
And then the little kids, K through 2,
Oh,
did like a half a mile.
nice.
It was
So we
fun.
started that in '94.
And it's still
this year
going.
was their 30th anniversary.
Nice.
so
In
cool.
fact, they gave me a shirt. I was up there playing I was playing Red Rocks the other day with my band.
Oh, were you?
Nice.
How did that go?
Elementary school.
You'd sell that joke a lot. I would do that.
You
No, it
should.
just came this weekend.
Oh,
I
that's a
was like-
great joke. I
Well, I
like
was
that.
telling some friends, what are you doing? Oh, I'm playing a gig at Red Rocks tomorrow morning. And like, really? I'm like, oh, no. Red
Yeah.
Rocks Elementary.
For those
It's-
suds,
We can see
right
Red
there.
Rocks.
yeah, for those sud buds that don't get it, we live just like we're about 7 minutes away from Red Rocks Amphitheater
Yeah.
outside of Morrison, Colorado. So
Which is
Amazing
where
place.
Red Rocks Elementary is based.
right, it's at the base
Yeah.
of
Right
that.
below
so.
it,
But I
yeah.
love that you get to say that you're playing in the band at Red Rocks.
That's
Yeah.
Playing with
awesome.
your band at the Red.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
But one of the PTA moms gave me the 30th anniversary shirt. So,
Oh,
that's
so it's
nice
been
guy.
around a long time. They still do it. Alan Roach announces the kids as they come through the finish line. He's been doing that for 15 years.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
it's kind of a big deal. It's
It is a
really
big deal. The
fun.
whole town like gets ready and on board.
Yeah,
and
it's-
they even
And
get like the.
Are
police
the
department
students really
involved.
psyched for it?
Some
Honestly, it caused
Some
a lot
train.
of stress.
Some do train.
I remember.
Oh,
it
really?
was kind of
Oh,
stressful.
I see them running
There are
the
still kids
trail.
that
'Cause
are
Okay.
I live
so-
right on
Yeah.
the trail still right now.
Okay.
And they're
I had a kid just last year like come to the health room. He was like crying because he was so stressed because
It's
he wanted to
stressful.
get first place and he got like second place. You know, like
Yeah.
hurt feelings.
Oh darn it.
Well, I am not a runner. I've since become somewhat of a runner, but at the time I'm like, running. But one of the things that came out of I ended up starting a cross country team later, and
Mhm.
Really
have,
nice.
like all area. We'd have a meet there. We'd have like 200 kids show up for the meet. We'd run up into the park, and it was awesome. And several kids, in fact, on Bear Creek, they would have so many kids from Red Rocks that ended up running on the cross country team.
Oh yeah, I bet.
In fact, we've had some. We've got this gal who lives in Morrison, who's now an 8th grader, and she's like a national competitor. She runs the mile in like
nice.
Well, of course, her mom was a competitive.
Because let's just clear something up. Red Rocks produces like some amazing
Excellent
people,
It
right?
really does.
It really does.
It's such a small, cute.
And it's
Kind of the
it's
chicken
an
and the
elementary
egg.
school, which are grades. What are they? Grades.
Well, now it's K
K5
through
now.
5. It was K through 6.
Well, it was
Okay.
preschool through.
Oh yeah,
oh,
it's preschool.
so glad they don't have a preschool now.
Okay, so then
My
it's
daughter
K
went.
through. Okay, so it is K through. Okay.
I thought they did have a Mr.
They did.
Chandler.
Oh yeah, Chandhook.
Chandhook.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So,
But so anyway,
So what were we?
sorry, because I was trying to get how many years, like the ages.
oh,
of the
we were
school.
talking about how amazing Red Rocks is.
Yeah,
like,
what it
really-
produces.
Well,
yeah,
and that's
the
what I was going
students
to
it
say. It's chicken and egg situation because does Red Rocks produce these wonderful kids, or do wonderful kids go to Red Rocks?
I think it's
a little bit of both. I mean, I've seen my fair share of bad eggs at Red Rocks,
'Cause
but
it's also like a really small school.
Oh, that's
which
what I
think
was going to
makes
say.
the
I think
community
I think
get
there's a sweet
stronger.
spot with
Mhm.
small schools and
No, go on.
individuals being able to shine.
No, I agree.
It's a
No, that's
magical
what
place.
I was gonna say.
Sorry.
yeah.
It's because everyone knew everybody. Everyone from 1st grade to 6th grade,
Yes.
because there was only one class per grade.
Yeah.
So
when
even
we
the
were there.
1st graders, well, yeah, it's changed now.
Yeah.
But even the 1st graders knew all the 6th graders, and like
Yeah.
it was just
Yeah,
like,
and I think that makes a difference. Like you talked about the student that came in because he didn't win first place.
Yeah.
I would think just emotionally and psychologically, it would be far easier to withstand something like that in a smaller community with people that know you and just know you
Yeah.
than in a huge school where you already feel lost and now you feel like you've lost.
you're just a number.
Yeah,
And the
so
fact
I
that
think
the
it,
teachers
I think it helps
there-
those individuals strive.
the teachers
are-
stay there forever.
Yeah,
Like-
that's true.
Oh, that's true because the
Now
teachers
that I
aren't as
work
burnt
there,
out.
there are
Kids
still
there's
teachers there
still there.
that were there when
Nice.
we were there.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that says everything, like they're
Just a great
it's
environment.
a good place. It's
That's
a really
crazy
good
to
place.
think about.
And when I think of like my childhood, I think of Red Rocks and
So pat on the back, G Diddy.
So
You're
it
part
just-
of making that community. You know what I mean? That's great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's part of making me. And Morrison's become. I love Morrison, Red Rock. I live in Morrison
Yeah.
now.
yeah.
But I already knew the whole community. And I was lucky because teaching K through 6, I mean, I would have the kids 7 years in a row.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Right.
you
Whereas
you're
teachers
right. Because
have
you're not a
to
grade
grow up.
teacher.
And we were just saying too, you get to see them into like high school because a lot of people don't move away. Well,
Yeah.
some do, but it's nice because you can like see them later in life, like us. Like we haven't
Yeah. And
seen
see
you
like
in
what
know.
they're
like
doing.
10
I've
years.
seen you at a couple gigs.
Yeah, I've seen.
Yeah.
I
The
guess
last
so.
few
That's
years.
true.
And Green Mountain.
Real
Yeah.
quick, you said you had a story about my grandma. And I'm just dying to hear.
Yeah,
you?
we gotta hear
Yeah.
this one.
So I
Otter's
was
grandma's a
down at the
character.
Morrison Holiday Bar.
where I grew up.
where
Oh,
I
is
grew
that the
up.
bar you grew up at?
grew up
Okay, the holiday bar.
Yeah, my
Gotcha.
dad bartended there for 20-some years.
And
I
your
didn't
mom,
realize that was the
Oh,
bar.
that's right.
Okay.
Yeah. And your grandmother is just the sweetest person, and she says hello. And every time I see her, she's like, "Ugh, you taught all my kids. I'm just." And so one time I came in, and she goes, "Mr. Harrod, you had all my kids and grandkids. You taught so many kids." She goes, "In fact, I think you had Jolie." And I'm like,
I think you're younger.
"Jolie's about 3 years older than me, so
And that's
I'm not sure he was one of my
that's
students."
Otter's. That's Otter's
Dad.
dad. Yeah.
What's that?
That's
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Just
that's
clarifying
clarifying
that-
for
Otter's
to our
dad. Yeah.
to our sud buds.
gosh,
Just
yeah.
clarifying.
Grandma
Yeah.
Sally.
Is she the one that owned the?
She didn't own the Blue Cow. My
Okay.
aunt owned
Oh,
the
you.
Blue
Yeah,
Cow.
I knew there
But
was
she didn't
some
work
family.
there.
Okay.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Oh,
a
that's
hoot.
funny.
Blue Cow.
She's too funny.
That's
Great
funny.
memories of
She
that
still
place.
lives in Morrison.
She does.
And now, a word from our sponsors. Hatcher Fly Co. They sell handcrafted flies for all your river excursions. Steelhead, trout, salmon, custom flies, and merchandise. Use the code Dirty Laundry, no space, for 15% off your next order. That's Dirty Laundry for 15% off at hatcherflyco.com. Feel the tug. Yeah.
So I have another question for you.
It's not going to be a hard one, is it?
We'll see. It's not a Barbara Walters one. I won't make you cry, I promise.
Oh,
Okay.
'cause I cry easily.
Yeah. Like, I am recently a grandparent, and that's kind of why we started this podcast. So if any of the baby sudsies care to hear what I had to say in 20, 30 years, it's recorded somewhere. Okay.
Yeah.
So my first question about like being a grandparent and stuff, what do you think like the grandparent role is in the school atmosphere? Because you're not a parent, but there are grandparents there that are involved quite a bit. Like, or maybe I should be asking more seriously. I want to be the grandparent that helps out and doesn't overstep.
Right. It's
So
hard. It's
what would I
line
do?
to cross.
Yeah.
What would you suggest?
You know, just support is the biggest thing. First of all, grandparents, be a good parent.
Yeah.
That's the first step.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Unfortunately, there's a shortage of that now. it
Right,
seems
so-
to be, which
So just
But-
supporting, like,
and-
and I do think about supporting my babies as their babies go into school. Like,
yeah.
I want to be there at least one day a week to help with the driving or whatever it
Well,
is.
I don't know. Does it scare you a little bit to think of your child in school now, like when they're in
Yeah.
school for a few years from now? I mean,
It
We've
terrifies me.
had a lot of
terrifies
talks about
me.
homeschooling,
yeah.
charter schools.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of talks, and no one has
I
the
think
right
it'll
answer.
swing.
And public
I'm hoping it
school has
swings
changed so
before then.
much.
Yeah, it
And I've
has.
always been such a big supporter of public school, and now I'm like, I don't know if it is for everybody.
We'll start at Red Rocks. And
Yeah, exactly.
my husband and I have this argument all the time because he grew up
Taking the
at Kendallview.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, no,
Doesn't
our
even
daughter's going to go to
measure up.
Kendallview. And I'm like, Red Rocks.
It's a
Hands down, Red
air
100%.
Rocks.
quote Morrison school, but
Oh, yeah. And like
they call
Blue
themselves.
Ribbon.
I mean, your dad
Blue
lives
Ribbon.
in Morrison.
Yeah.
Of course, he did grow up in historic Morrison.
He did.
Doesn't he live in?
He does
not
live like
real
in the
Morrison
suburbs
now?
of Morrison now. I call it the suburbs of Morrison.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, so I mean,
But,
it is hard to say.
Yeah, that I mean, support.
Well, let me just say that I mean, I had grandparents at Red Rocks that knew me as much as the parents. They would show up to things.
Yeah, that's true.
My parents are the same way. When I was a kid, my parents came to everything.
Right.
My grandparents, well, now my dad's 92, mom's 87, so they don't get out much. But
Right.
when they could, they were going to all the grandkids stuff. I mean, they were just that kind of
Right.
person. I
Yeah,
think
very involved.
just show up.
Show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Honestly.
Yeah.
So
That's really all you got to do is show up.
Show up.
Right.
That's what
Okay.
they're going to remember.
Just be
Right.
there
Okay,
when you
yeah.
can.
Volunteer
Great
if you
advice.
can.
Yeah. Well, I was wondering, like, is it out? Does it? I didn't want to be that grandparent that goes in and oversteps. I guess you could just go in and say, "I'm a grandparent.
Hey,
what can I
I
not
want to come
volunteer?"
read.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
Yeah.
that's how
a
Roach
great
got
idea.
involved because his kid went to our school and he used to come in and read to the kids.
Okay. Yeah, and show up.
Um,
Thank you.
Yeah, they love it when old people show up.
Yeah, I know. And I like showing up places,
Yeah.
you know, because I'm
Yeah.
still
No.
alive. I just kind of want to show up here. But yeah,
Yeah.
volunteering, reading, that's a great idea. Thank you.
That is a good idea.
Yeah.
So
Did you
kind
ever
of-
have that grandparent that you're like, oh my God, that you saw
I can't
coming?
say I did.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
no.
good.
And Smarge will not be the first. So, okay.
So
Not at all.
good.
before we move on to your other passion, music,
Mm-hmm.
is there any other last minute teaching stories you want to share with us before
Teachings. Oh, I have a million.
I'm sure
Some
you
I don't wanna
favorite
take
ones.
The whole time up.
Well, tell us some
Yeah,
favorite
tell us
ones.
just like
Yeah,
your
some
favorite, like the
ones.
first
I
thing
mean,
that pops to
one
your
or two favorite
mind.
ones.
Okay, my
Maybe even
favorite
just
is not at Red Rocks though.
Oh,
That's okay.
Oh.
It doesn't have to.
Oh,
be.
doesn't
It's my
count.
first year in Cortez, but
No, you can tell.
my first teaching job. So I worked a couple years in business at a cubicle and found out no, I can't because it was hard to find a job back then in teaching. Very
Oh, I bet.
competitive.
Yeah.
So different than now.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
true because it was inundated at that point,
It
wasn't
was.
it? Yeah, that's
people
right.
were dying to teach. Now they're dying to get out.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just so sad.
I'm
It is.
sorry if I'm offending
sad.
anybody.
No,
No, but
No.
it's,
It's
it's
tough.
sad.
It's
It's
the
tough.
truth.
It-
Yeah.
We need
Yeah.
good teachers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really do.
And I've paid my dues and
Yep.
now I'm ready to move on. But
Yeah.
my first day at that kindergarten I mentioned,
Okay.
we had to do testing. And I had this little boy. So they had, put me at this station where we had to check their balance and we had a tape on the line and they had to walk the line. And we had to kind of see how well their balance was. And so I had this little boy. I said, follow me and we'll walk across this line. And he followed me along and we got done. And he said, when you were walking on that line, you followed. And I said, no, I didn't fall. I didn't fall it. I fell. I'm like being this
Right,
wonderful
right.
teacher,
Yeah.
correcting
Yeah.
your English, and come on. He's like, no, you followed. And I said, no, you say I fell. And he says, and I know we're not on TV, but he's like, no, you followed, and started waving his nose.
Oh, cute.
And I
So-
indeed had followed.
You had
I didn't
followed.
know he heard it, though.
Yeah, but
And he was right behind me. He's like, you followed.
Oh, cutie.
oh, that's hilarious.
Really
That's
That's one of
adorable.
my favorite because it was just cute.
That's
so
adorable.
innocent. And
Yeah.
Dear,
Oh,
yeah.
I love that.
Oh, that is
It was a
adorable.
lot of fun.
So you said, I noticed right before the story, you said, I've paid my dues, you've followed your calling, and now you're moving on.
I am.
What's your next wash cycle you're going to enter
next
into?
It's funny you say that. I've not always been I guess have always been indifferent to Jane Fonda. She kind of, a lot of people are really with her or not. But,
Right.
I've always enjoyed her.
Yeah.
And but she came out with a TED Talk not too long ago. I don't know if you've heard about this,
No.
but it's
think
called
I
Your
have.
Third Act. Have you heard that?
Oh, I have heard a little bit about it. I have not listened to the whole thing, but
So she's in her TED Talk. She mentions how in our generation now, people are living like 34 years longer than they did,
right, yeah.
a couple of generation ago,
Yeah.
maybe two. And she's like, that's like an entire adult life
Wow.
added to your life. And so 3 decades, your first 3 decades, first,
Right.
second act is your middle, and
Right.
third. And she kind of explained it as like a bell curve
Mm-hmm.
where, you're climbing up and then you hit your peak in your second act. And then as you get old and decrepit, you just fall into but
Right.
now she said she thinks of it as a stair step where you just keep climbing to new heights, and
Discovering
really
new
life
things.
begins,
And, yeah.
and your best act is your third act.
That's so
Nice.
cool.
Something
It's
to look
awesome.
forward to.
That is
Yeah.
Especially
that-
since I just entered my third act.
yeah, that is awesome.
So that's really
That's a great, yeah. great
inspired
way to-
me. And so
Good.
while I'm retiring from teaching, I really honestly feel like I'm moving into my real passion. Teaching was my passion,
Right.
and I still, all for it. It was great, but I also have just had a passion for video production and the arts. As I mentioned, I did, the arts in high school and taught music and play some music. But I mean, when I was a kid, about 10 years old, I would get my cousins together, and I had one of those old, this camera it was an old video
Oh,
camera,
my
Super
God.
8 kind
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah.
And I would film them jumping off the car, and we'd do these old westerns.
Well, that's
and
so cool.
and then I put it aside because sports became more important. But I don't know if you guys remember at Red Rocks, we used to do a broadcast. Did we do it when you were there?
No,
I don't think so.
no.
Might have been
But you
something
did
like
make a
that.
really special video for our 6th grade continuation.
I always did the
God, that was
videos.
so
Yeah.
cool.
I still have it.
Do you
I
really?
I do. Yeah.
So I've always had a passion for video and technology, and
You hear that, Hoss? When we want to take one episode video and put it on YouTube. We have
I'd
someone to
love-
call and
Maybe
help.
You can help us.
I have a company now. I don't know if you can afford me,
Oh.
Well,
but catch me now because I'm
but
doing
we
stuff
could work a
for
trade
free
because you
for-
could record at Oakway Studios.
I'm trying to build a portfolio now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So-
Yeah.
We could be a part of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
go ahead. So
Well,
yeah.
side note too, one of our
uh-huh.
kids that went to Red Rocks, I don't know, I think he might have been involved in broadcast, but he's now an anchor.
One of the triplets.
Oh my God.
Who lives
Yes,
down the
one of the
street.
triplets.
Oh, up at the top. Yeah.
He's I don't know if he's an anchor, but he's
In the news.
he's
He
on the
definitely
news
is.
Okay.
in Nashville.
Nashville,
Big network.
nice.
You started that passion for him.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Well, we'll see. You
You
did.
helped.
Oh, nice.
But I remember him. I read something where he said, "I never thought when I sat in that chair when I was in elementary school doing broadcasts, I'd be doing this for a living."
Right.
So I don't know if that was at Red Rocks when he did that, but nobody else did it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's so cool.
Oh, that's
Anyway,
so cool.
that's a
Great
side
story.
note. But
Yeah.
yeah, just another one of the amazing things
Yeah.
that we all from Red Rocks did
I love
or
that.
do. But so the video company that I'm starting is my passion. It kind of really grew out of the pandemic, really. 'Cause
Yeah.
being a musician, I have a few friends who are musicians. We're stuck at home. And one of my friends recorded this version he does of I Just Saw a Face, the Beatles tune.
Mhm.
He had a different arrangement of it.
Right.
And then he sent it to me, and then I used my phone and sang to the phone and recorded the harmony to it.
Right.
And
Wow.
then we sent it to a third guy who recorded a third part, and I took those phone videos and edited them together, where it was like we were all in the same room.
That's
And
so cool.
so I ended up starting a YouTube channel. We ended up doing probably 12 to 15
Nice.
songs where we would
How fun.
record our part, send it out, and they would record their part. We'd video ourselves. Then our other friend was a sound engineer, would take it and produce the sound, and it was really fun.
I feel
It's-
like I remember this.
I know.
Post this on Facebook.
I was gonna say, I think I saw
or
this
something?
video.
Yeah,
Or
you may have.
I think I did. Yeah.
There's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
That's so
out there.
cool.
Do you want to give a shout out to the 3 bands you're a part of?
Sure. So Vominoz Pest is my 5-piece. It's a rock band.
Nice.
If you don't know the reference to Vominoz Pest, then you've never watched Breaking Bad. Do you guys know the reference?
Oh,
No,
I,
I
like it
didn't.
says
I didn't, but
Vominoz
I've
says
watched
leave
Breaking Bad.
fish, leaving fishes. This looks like it's Spanish to me.
It is. It's,
Oh,
It
is it?
is.
It's Spanish for let's go.
Well, Vominoz. Oh,
Go.
and Pez is
Pest.
pest. Oh, pest.
Yes. There was a company in the movie or in the series
Oh, it's vaguely coming
Breaking
back to me.
Bad. They would cook meth. It's
That's
a
right, yeah.
positive message. But they would cover
For those
the
of you that are a
house.
little confused in your senior year of high school,
Yes.
Career path.
But a couple of us in the band, I've watched the series twice.
Yeah.
It fascinates me. So a little reference.
that's great.
Not many
That's
know about
neat.
it. In
Yeah.
fact, we were doing a gig one time, and this Latina woman came up and said, "Do you guys play any Latin music or salsa?" And I'm like, "No." But she goes, "But you're Vominoz Pest."
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah.
"Yeah, no."
No.
no,
Oh, that's
Sorry.
great.
didn't get the reference.
No, it's funny though. That my other band then is called Trash Cajones.
Wow.
Well, there you go.
I see a
So
theme.
some
Sticking with that
reason-
Spanish theme.
And again, my sister came to me and she said, "I couldn't believe you guys named it that. What are you thinking?" And I was like, "Get your mind out of the gutter.
Yeah.
A cajon is a percussive instrument
You're
that
just taking
people
it. Yeah.
play.
Right.
And
just
there's
making a
3 of us, so
play
we
on
made it
words.
plural.
Yeah.
It's spelled K-A, not K-O. And there's 3 of us. So,
Mm-hmm.
but it's made for some fun conversation.
I bet.
Absolutely. I love naming things like that.
Back
That's
when-
fun.
In
That's
In fact,
fun.
when I played Red Rocks the other day
Yeah. With your band.
with my band, Tres Cajones, my other band, by the way, is Trash Pandas.
Wait,
which
so
is-
you have 3 bands. Okay.
Yeah,
Nice,
Trash
nice.
Pandas is just kind of a side thing. And my main thing is Vominoz, and then Tres Cajones. We do some gigs.
Okay.
The other guys playing some other bands too. It kind of came out of Trash Pandas, which is a bunch of teachers and parents from Red Rocks. Our drummer was a teacher there. One of
Oh,
our
and you had
singers was a
parents and
speech-
teachers.
Yeah.
Fun.
One of our teachers was a speech therapist. Myself, the librarian, would sing with, the digital teacher librarian.
DTL.
DTL would sing with us. And one of the paras. And so we played for their silent auction one year. And then the 3 of us kind of broke off of that and formed this little trio. So
That's
those
so
are the 3
cool.
Nice.
So fun.
That is great. And
Yeah,
I
it's a
love
lot
the
of
names.
fun.
I love the names. Now, you were at the brewery at open mic.
I was.
You were there with another person. I think you were only there with one other person.
Well, no,
Or-
that Trace Cajones played that night.
Oh, okay.
That's why I was there. Yeah.
Okay.
We
So
played
you
a
were
set.
okay. Well, I can't wait
Yep.
to see you guys play again.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
We're playing Morrison Inn
Oh.
rooftop.
yeah.
It's a
I
good
would
time.
love that. That would be. I
That's
would love.
awesome.
We try to always support our NTRGs.
Oh, nice.
So
So
tell
that
us,
would be fun.
tell us more about this video company. I mean, so what's the end
Okay.
goal? It's you're really just trying to find
Well,
folks
I
that need
actually
some type of video creator.
I actually quit teaching. I mentioned I'd quit teaching. This is my 3rd time quitting. First time I had left for some kind of personal reasons, and I ended up starting a painting company, house painting,
Oh wow.
which was a blast. Not really.
Nice. I love it when people just go with the flow and you just.
Well,
find
you know,
way
as a
and then-
teacher, you always have a second job.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
mine
I
was
love it.
painting.
Yeah.
And so I did that, had some employees. We did that for about 5 years. Just wasn't happening for me.
Yeah.
And so I think it was the opportunity. Well, and then I went and taught. Then I got an opportunity to teach online. I did that for 2 years.
What was
during the
that like?
pandemic. Awful.
Yeah.
Were you teaching music and PE?
No, believe it or not, I was teaching PE online.
That makes no
Technology.
Oh,
sense.
that would
So
be
you
tough.
you probably had a lot of involved students, huh?
Oh yeah. I would have
And, oh
class,
my
my class
goodness
size was
gracious.
about 130.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
And we would do online classes on kind of like a Zoom call.
Okay.
And I would have 7 kids show up, and none of them would turn on their mic. Or
Can't do Jake the Snake that way.
No, you
either.
can't.
No.
And none of them would
Dear.
turn on their cameras. Or and this,
Yeah.
now they've changed that to where they have to have their camera on. But at the time,
Well,
I
this was
doing-
all Wild Wild West days. Like everybody was
Right.
just trying to
Just
figure
take-
it out.
Well, they
So-
had kind of figured it out. So pandemic, as far as ours, didn't affect us a bit because we were already online. But
So you already had
all the public education was
right a lot.
frantically trying to figure it out. Where
Right.
we were like, nothing changed. We're already
Yeah.
online. You know, but I'd go through a whole class and just feel like I'm talking to myself, like
Yeah.
recording a podcast.
You'd
How
have to really
lonely.
like yourself,
I
right?
could see their names
You'd have
there.
to love yourself to listen. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
is anybody out there?
So what do y'all think?
Oh,
Crickets.
that would suck.
It was
That's
tough.
So hard.
I
And
bet.
plus, I'm not a work.
Well,
at home
also, I
kinda
think
guy.
you like to interact
I'd
with
go,
people, and
yes,
yeah,
I do, and I would
yeah.
go on the couch and fall asleep or watch TV. When
Was it in a way more exhausting than teaching in person?
Not really physically. No, I wouldn't say it was more exhausting. It allowed me to do a lot of other things. I had,
So you found the good in it. You found the
I
positive.
did,
But
Good.
not as fulfilling.
but it wasn't something I wanted to continue.
Right.
That's where I ended up going back to Red Rocks. They had an opening,
Oh,
so I went
okay.
back there. Taught for a year, split schools. It wasn't working for me. Then I became a DTL.
Yeah, and you taught at Patterson.
I was at Patterson.
Sorry,
You
what's,
left.
sorry, I
Yeah.
don't know what a DTL is.
It's the librarian. It's the fancy
Oh, the
term for
digital.
librarian
teacher
now.
librarian.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
And if you know,
Bringing
me,
Smarge
I'm
up
not a
into the
librarian.
21st century.
Yeah, I'm more the digital part, not so much.
Gotcha.
I've read paper books, maybe 15 in my life. I've listened to a lot of books on
Okay,
tape,
yeah.
but I'm not a paper reader.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
So the librarian part didn't fit me, and then I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm going to go work in corporate or do something else. Maybe be a, technology trainer for a company. And I was actually still interested in video, and a job was posted, or a friend told me there's a job posted at the district for video production for making
For the county
public
type?
service.
You're like,
Yeah.
Okay.
for the-
Nice.
for
Okay.
Jeffco schools.
Right. Okay.
So I did apply for that. Was not really qualified. Didn't have the, what they needed. But while I was looking for that job, I came across a job at Oberon Middle School, where I'm at now. That was open. They said we need a technology teacher. You can teach robotics. You can teach whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They mentioned video production, and I was like, okay. So after I had just quit in the spring, now I'm applying back.
Now you're
Right.
coming back into it.
Yes, and so I've been there 2 years, and it's been great. I've learned a lot, but
What a great way to open your third act.
Yeah.
for now, yeah.
Standing ovation to you. I mean, seriously, that's great.
Well, and I just I never really went for the corporate job.
Right.
It just wasn't me.
Yeah.
I just don't think I could go work.
And look
for
how you
somebody
found your
again.
way, and even teaching,
Yeah.
found your way
Yeah.
back to being able to do something like this, the video, and
Well, and I had taken some acting classes because I've always loved acting, and met a couple guys. We started a production company. We've done. Well, I with them did about 3 short films. We actually won a.
Oh.
next time you do that, if you need a volunteer, I would love to see the process. I'm serious. I
Well,
would
I did leave
love
them,
to see
but
the process.
they're still doing it, and we won. Our
Why
first-
did you leave? Was it?
It was just so time consuming,
Yeah.
and it didn't pay a dime, and I got
Yeah.
a
Right.
family, and
Yeah, at
those
times,
guys.
real life takes
And
over at times.
They really want to. I mean, they want to have a career in this and
That's really cool.
do
Yeah.
stuff, and they're doing good stuff. We did win an award at Colorado Springs Film Festival.
Maybe we need to talk
Wow.
to these
Yeah.
chappies about our
It's fun.
podcast as
But
well,
if
and
you,
some
you know,
ideas.
if they
That's
ever need
awesome.
extras,
Oh,
actors
well, we
help.
have some ideas too.
Oh, for
Or
sure.
your passion is music, is what I'm getting
Yes.
from you, and your bands.
yes.
When did you figure that out for yourself? Was it
I've
really
always
early?
loved music.
Okay,
I mentioned I was in youth group as a kid,
Right.
And when I always wanted to be the guy up there with the guitar singing,
okay.
because the girls notice that guy.
It's true. No one thinks
And
about
so
the
that
drummer.
was like something that's always been with
And I
you.
sang in choir and did all that. I never really saw myself in a band. Never thought I was good enough. But the more I played, I just got interested. My secret to this is that I always find people who are better than me. So I'm always the worst in the band, so that
That's a good piece of advice.
it's
in a way.
great because if I'm the
So that
best
you
in the
can just
band,
get
it's
better.
a crappy band.
For one, but also you have people you can learn from. You
But
don't feel like the horrible weight of the responsibility.
I love that.
But I love performing. I love
Nice.
playing music. We're a cover band. We don't play originals. We're not trying to get rich. We just like to
Nice.
hang out
Because
together. We're all
it
good
just
friends.
makes you feel
Yeah.
good.
And people like
How old are
others.
your bands? They sound like that you've been together with these guys for quite a while.
Well, the guy who I play with in Vominoz Pest, one guy, we started a little 4-piece back probably almost 20 years ago. We've been playing together. And we
Nice.
also have a duo,
What?
I guess you could call a fourth band called
Okay.
Mobro, Morrison Brothers.
Oh,
Cute.
That's cool.
And now he lives in Golden, so now we're the Go Mobro.
Go bro. That's great.
And I just love performing.
That's great.
Yeah, that's
and it's
awesome.
your passion and it helps. It's helped you in so many ways.
And now I think I've filmed 3 music videos this week. And
Yeah.
Oh my
so
gosh.
I'm hoping, I didn't think I was going to do mostly real estate, which I still plan to, but
Oh,
I'm
really?
intrigued.
Whoa.
all of a
Wow.
sudden
I'm
music
intrigued with
comes
your
into
plans.
it.
He's
That
got
is
a bag
great.
of all kinds
Yeah.
of
lot
trades.
going on.
and-
Always thinking.
Just don't know what I'm going to be when I
Well, you have a little studio here, and we will be
Yes.
expanding now that we have the basement back.
All right.
I'm going to do a basement studio as well. I think it'll be
Oh.
fun.
So on
And
the
then
top of
I have one more story I wanted to
Okay.
tell really quick.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
tell your story.
Yeah.
I don't know if you even remember this, but I went to a Red Rock show sometime in high school.
Like a
maybe.
concert.
A concert.
Okay.
But we got fake tickets, so we couldn't actually get in. So we just
Wait,
went
this
down.
happened kind of recently.
No, this was a while ago.
No, this was like a couple years ago. You just said high school.
This was like
Maybe it's happened to her more than once.
it was.
different
No. It wasn't high school. We were outside of college already.
Yeah, I was like, this wasn't
But it was still
that
probably
Okay.
5-ish
We were
years
young.
ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, my timeline's off. Anyway, we were really bummed, so we went down to Morrison Inn to get a drink, and your band was playing, but I didn't realize. And
Yeah.
I was at the bar, and you over the microphone, you called my name. And you were like, is that?
I
For
do remember.
you?
Is that Hoss?
Is that hot
Hoss?
out there?
And I was like, what is happening? And I look over, and it's Mr. H
G.
up
Diddy.
there performing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Not a-
There's G. Diddy performing.
is
What
this
are you
so-
doing, Mr. Teacher? Out of your teacher
I
classroom.
know I've run into several former students at bars. Just kind
yeah.
of, the first time was a little strange, but
The first
now I'm
time was
used
when
to it.
I was 9.
yes. Well,
Yeah, that happened.
But you seem to have worked through that very well.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't go to the
Very well.
bars much anymore. I try not to.
Cause
Yeah.
too much trouble.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unless I'm playing in music and
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a
Apologies.
segment called the skid mark segment, which is basically just a story that like absolutely scared the shit out of you.
Oh, okay, I got
You
that.
have
Yeah,
one of
you
You
those?
got
got
it?
that? Do you
Oh,
want
yeah.
have one
Yeah.
you want to share?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Let's hear it.
Let's hear your skid marks.
So this was my job again back in Cortez, and we had just arrived in Cortez, didn't know anybody, unpacked. I had 2 days before school started. At the time, I had a 71 Bronco Sport.
Oh, wow.
It was cool. I was
Nice.
not a four-wheeler, but
Yeah,
I
still
didn't
cool.
know much about it. But we love this little restaurant in Telluride called the Floridora. And so I said, hey, we got some time. Let's drive up to Ouray, drive over there's a little four-wheel drive pass that comes beautifully right down into Telluride, and then we'll have lunch at the Floridora.
Mhm.
So we head up, and we started up too late, 3 o'clock. Didn't know what I was doing. I have no business four-wheeling, first of all.
And
So
you hadn't four-wheeled before, really?
Not really.
Yeah, you just
Never
thought, I have my
driven it.
Bronco.
I got my
so-
Bronco, all
Okay,
these
gotcha.
easy passes.
Overconfident, yeah.
If anybody listening knows Imogene Pass, it's like up above Yankee Boy Basin. Mount Sneffels is there, and so we're just about at the
These
summit.
names, Mount
Yeah.
Sniffles.
Oh, they have
Yankee Boy,
crazy.
what?
They have crazy trail names. They really do. They're great.
And so we get to almost the summit, and it was a little rocky. So I put the emergency brake on, put it in neutral, walked up just to see, okay, what's on the other side? What am I getting into? All right, got it. And come back into the car. And by the way, there's like a rock wall to our left where they had, and then on our right, it was like a talus field that just went down
Oh,
to the
God.
bottom of Yankee Boy, probably, I don't know, had to be 1,000 feet or so.
Right.
Oh,
Not a cliff, but
Jeez.
But
45
if you were going to go
degrees.
off of it, it's going to feel
You're
like a
gonna
cliff.
roll.
It's going to feel like a cliff, yeah.
So I get in, and I have my foot on the brake, and I got my foot on the clutch, put it in gear. As soon as I put it in gear, my brake pedal went right to the floor.
No.
And we started, sorry about that, Scout. Just kicked
Scout's
Scout
the
with my brake
brake
pedal. Started rolling backwards. Again, not having experience. I could have put it in first gear and let out the clutch and wouldn't have this story.
Right,
But
right.
I thought, okay, panic. I turned the wheel so we would run into the sidewall,
Yeah.
which rolled us over.
Oh no.
So we rolled halfway onto the roof.
But into the
No, toward the
the opposite way.
opposite side.
God. Talk
So
about
when we ended up, we were upside down.
Oh my
Like
God.
the hood of
Yeah.
the hood of the Jeep was like literally off the edge
Right.
of the road.
Oh my God.
And I didn't put my belt back on when I got in. My wife, I look over and she's like hanging upside down, her
Oh
hair's
my
down, and she's freaking out. And so we get out and she's just panicked, just bawling like, oh
Yeah.
my God. And we start walking away and she goes, oh, we got to go get the cassette tapes. So I'm like, I
No,
go
you
back,
didn't. You did
I
not.
crawl in and I grabbed our cassettes. I don't know.
What? How old were
I
you
can't
guys?
even
How old
explain
were
it.
you guys?
We're 30.
Oh,
Holy
We
crap.
loved our music. What
I
can
guess
I
you
say?
did. Okay. Oh.
So we carry our little cassette
like you see
tape.
that on movies, and then the car tilts, and then there they go, and your character's
Well, it wasn't
dead.
quite on the edge.
But well,
the
it
surface
doesn't
was on
matter
the
for
road.
cassettes. If they were 8 tracks, I don't
Hey,
know.
put
I'd be
yourself in that situation. Yeah. So we're walking down. Anyway, that's the moment. It was.
oh my
wow. That's
We
God.
that
found
is
a
a good
tent.
one.
It was dark and got a ride, and I had to go back up and get it and drive it home.
Oh my gosh.
That was definitely a scary.
yeah.
That's a good
I'm
skid
like
mark
scared
story.
I always
over
thought, you know
hearing
what,
this.
God spared us because there's something in my third act that's going to be great because we
Yeah.
didn't die that
See, yeah.
day.
Yeah, exactly.
I
there
would
you go.
agree. Yeah.
100%.
So we'll see.
And it's not just your third act. I don't think you realize how many students you've touched, like throughout the
Yeah.
years of teaching. So,
Again,
Yeah.
in a healthy way.
Yeah.
in a healthy way. Yeah, we got to really
We gotta
clarify
keep,
this.
yeah, we
don't
have to
Yeah.
clarify this.
Sounds bad.
We are an LLC, but still, I don't want to get sued.
No, no, we don't want any parents coming at us. Nothing like that. Okay.
Well, this has been fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, are you
So-
ready for 5 on the line?
5 on the line.
Five
is how
on the
we-
line.
How we end our podcast. So we're going to
With
ask you
all
5
our-
questions that we ask
Yep.
every guest.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to start?
I'll start. What was your favorite vacation growing up? This can be a childhood vacation or maybe something
Glenwood
in your...
Springs.
Oh, okay. Quick
No, I
answer.
don't even have to think about it. We
Is he our second Glenwood Springs person?
I don't know.
Anyway, go ahead. Yeah,
well, we
wanna
didn't do
hear.
a whole lot of big vacations.
Okay.
But almost every summer, I've been going to Glenwood Springs since I was 3 years old, and
Oh,
I still
wow.
go. Our
Oh
honeymoon,
my
year?
gosh.
our honeymoon was at Glenwood Springs.
No
We
way.
still go there.
Oh, wow.
And you
Yeah,
took
we
your
rode
kids
the train
there.
up, and we took our daughter there.
So this is a tradition,
We can't wait to take Collins, my
right?
granddaughter, there.
Aw.
Cute.
So yeah, Glenwood is the best. I can still see my mom doing the side stroke across the pool, with her
Oh,
little swim
his
cap.
and
Oh,
were you in
yeah.
the huge pool? The
Oh,
great
yeah.
big
Oh,
huge
yeah.
pool? Yeah.
Dead skin floating in that.
Yeah.
hot
Do
pool.
you
Oh.
have a favorite hotel up there you like to stay in?
Colorado?
Okay, yep, the Colorado, which is the original
Oh,
one
yeah.
right there.
That's where we stayed our honeymoon.
Have you been to
Still
the
go there.
newer springs, the Iron Mountain
I
one?
love it.
Or yeah, I want to try
Even
those.
better, we go there
Yeah.
now.
Nice.
Yeah.
I haven't been to the
I haven't been there
They
either.
have like
I'm
several
impressed.
different
The
pools,
best.
right?
Okay.
Yeah,
That
I wanna
sounds
try
nice.
that. That'll
different
be fun.
heats. They've got a cold plunge. That's
Nice.
interesting. But yeah, the Iron.
That's where I'd be. I'd be
So
in the cold
that's
plunge when we would go to Strawberry,
Oh yeah.
up in Steamboat. I'd always be like in the river one, closest to the river, and everybody else would be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh my god, it's too hot! It's too hot."
All right. On that note, what is your worst vacation?
The one you just couldn't pull it together. It just
Worst vacation.
unraveled, and it just couldn't get it back
so
together.
Speaking of the mayor of Morrison, Denise and I it was our anniversary. We were going to go camping in Rocky Mountain National Park. So I asked my buddy Chris if I could borrow a tent. So we get up there, we find our spot, we start to unpack, and it starts raining.
Of course.
It's
Yep.
pouring like crazy.
Oh, God.
And we go to set up the tent, and he failed to put the poles in the bag.
Oh no.
So you're just laying on the ground with the tent over you, huh?
Well,
my
we ended
Lord.
up. Well, luckily we knew somebody in Estes Park. We ended up, packing up.
There is no way to
rain.
salvage that trip,
You
is there?
can't,
Not
no.
without this.
We slept on the floor in their basement, and then
Oh, sounds terrible.
Well, but if you're faced outside in the rain with a tent without
You
poles,
know, the
the
basement
basement
is
floor
better.
looks a little better, I
Yeah.
guess. But still,
I mean, it
this
wasn't
is
that
your
bad.
vacation.
It's a good
I know,
memory,
but it's just
that
not,
was
it's
the-
just unraveled. Like there's no way to
Yeah,
That's-
recover from
yeah.
no poles in the tent.
exactly.
That's probably a good story now.
Oh.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, and Chris will never live that down.
I'm sure he wouldn't. Yeah, I would
Yeah,
let
what
him live
was
it
that
down.
Wouldn't let him.
conversation like?
You know, I don't get too angry. But
See, if I were the wife in that situation,
it up.
I would say, "We're buying our own tent."
yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Which we
that's
did.
okay. That's what I would.
And I loan him stuff now.
without
with
without
yeah,
stuff.
Without the
in his
or-
way to where he understands. So,
Here's
who
my
was your
car.
favorite role model? Like, have you had a favorite role model? Do you remember like a favorite role model
Can it be my
growing up?
dad?
Of
It can be
course.
whoever. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, my dad.
That is
He-
so great to hear.
Well, he grew up. His grandmother raised him.
Okay.
He was in a small town, southeast Colorado. I might get a little emotional on this because now
Aw,
that he's
that's
90.
okay.
I even said I won't be Barbara Walters, but go for it. We
In
have
fact, my
tissues.
mom and I just talked about it yesterday, but he grew up without much. You know, he was
Yeah.
basically on the street. His grandmother was worked in the restaurant, and you know, they lived in a little one-bedroom apartment, and had no family, and got himself a trade. He was a printer.
A printer.
Yeah, worked for the Plainsman Herald in Springfield for most of his life. Well,
Oh,
when he was
wow.
younger. He worked for the independent newspaper here.
Uh-huh.
Ended up retiring from printing. He owned his own print company for a while.
wow,
Print
that's
business,
cool.
Rocket Printing.
Nice.
And then for the way he grew up and then having his own family, he showed up to he and my mom. I mean, I remember in high school have a basketball game at Summit, snowing like crazy,
Uh-huh.
and my parents and Bobby Ray's parents, another guy played. They were the only two in the stands.
Oh.
So they came to everything.
And he wasn't
awesome.
raised that way. He didn't know.
Oh, no,
He
he
is
had
the
That's so sweet.
he's
Do you
the
think that's why?
he's the founder of your
I think
family
it
in a way.
is.
You know, he's the
Well, now he's got. Well, so he had 3
he's
kids.
the homestead.
The
He
glue.
had-
Yeah, he's
Well.
like, here's the homestead, and this is what our family's going to look
Mhm.
like, regardless of what happened to me in the past.
yeah.
Good for him.
And so
Yeah.
so you have 2 siblings.
So I have 2 sisters.
Okay.
3 sisters.
Uh-huh.
One sister had 4 kids. The other one had 2. I had 1. So whatever the math is on that. And then I was a PE teacher. Remember?
Yeah.
Gym teacher.
Don't ask me how to do that.
And then of those grandkids, my daughter's got 1. My other sister hasn't got any grandkids yet, but my other sister has 14 grandkids.
What?
One of
My
them
goodness.
is pregnant with her 7th
Oh
kid.
my
Oh my
goodness.
God.
So
Oh my
that's the
God.
legacy. he's
So and
leaving.
yeah, it's what I said.
From
So you
one
could-
to many.
let's say he
Yeah.
homesteaded your family, and
He
that
really
is,
did.
I mean, that's awesome. And
And my mom's side of the family was great
oh yeah,
as well. But I just and
because
my dad,
of where he came from and
Yeah, and
how
he had the best ethics and morals growing up. I learned so much from him, and I
Yeah.
don't know where he learned it. Just
Yeah,
was in
you
him
just-
somehow.
don't know.
So would
how
you
he-
say he's still your role model?
I would, yeah.
That's
that's great.
That's
that
so
is
good for
awesome.
him for like breaking that cycle too.
Yeah.
'cause
Yeah, it
could have been
is.
very
Well, that's
easy
what's
for
hard
him.
when kids. I know kids have challenges,
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
worse than his. But I'm like, I know there are challenges, but you can't use it as an
No,
example.
you
can't,
can
yeah.
overcome it.
Yeah.
And
Make
turn
it
it
as an
around. And it sounds
opportunity.
like he did. He was like, I want this. And then it brings me back to when I asked you the question about how can I be a good grandparent and
Mhm.
support during school and all that. And you said, just show up.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just show up. And that's what your dad decided. He, at some point, decided, I'm going to start showing up in my life. It's not going to happen. And
Yeah.
like it did to me.
right.
That's just awesome.
Yeah, that is really sweet.
That
I
is
gotta say,
great.
I love my mom as well.
Oh, absolutely. And the
course,
moms, and
of
she's
course.
behind.
It's both of
Let's
them.
say
Shout
about
out
the
to
mom.
the
The mom
moms.
is supporting your dad, you know, and,
Oh,
And
yeah.
he
I
was
mean, they're a
always-
unit.
And he
it
was a
sounds
good
like.
example of loving his wife.
And they're a unit. Yeah, it
Awesome.
showed you. And Matthew McConaughey talks about that, about with his
Red light,
kids
green light.
trying to show, you know, this is important how you treat your spouse as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
And I think a lot of
They're always
parents
watching.
miss that, you know,
are.
they miss doing that.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
great.
That's really important.
Okay.
Who was your favorite childhood pet?
Because we love pets here.
We
so.
do.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh
if you-
yeah.
It doesn't even have to
Do
be
you not?
No, it's easy. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, I'm like, whoa.
Petey.
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 Petey I got in high school, so I don't. If that count as childhood?
Yeah,
I mean, we had Bun and Inger.
but Petey came
My
up
dad
for a
came up
reason.
with those things. Yeah, because Petey was my first dog for me. She was an Australian Shepherd mix,
Okay.
Aw.
and she was a Frisbee dog.
Mm.
And she would chase anything. She would jump 5-6 feet in the air, catch a Frisbee. It was
That's
something I always
awesome.
dreamed of. And
Yeah.
Petey was great.
Awesome.
She actually ended up, when she died, a lot of it was her hips started giving her problems because she would,
Oh.
I think it was from all the chasing, and she would go 100 miles an hour after a tennis ball and then just put the brakes on and get it.
Sounds like she was chasing her passion.
Yeah.
I used to love it
To
when I
me.
had to, yeah, exactly. I would shovel the snow, and there was a fence right by our
Yeah.
driveway, and as I threw the snow over the fence, she would literally get her hind legs up on the top of the fence and jump
Just
backwards,
ready.
trying to catch the snow.
Just
Oh
ready,
my
always
God.
ready to go.
Ugh.
How long did you get to have her?
Oh, well, my parents would say they had her
Okay.
because I got her when I was about a freshman in high school, maybe, and then I went to college, and then they ended up having
Nice,
her.
though.
Inherited.
But I'd
That's
come
great.
home. Yeah, so she lived to about
Yeah,
12.
first ed buds.
Wow.
There's a lot of smiles going on in here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dogs
Big
just
dog,
don't
yeah.
live long
Big
enough.
dog people.
don't,
They
do
really
they?
don't. They're
No, it's
Love
the
'em.
saddest thing.
Smarge, I know you love this last question, so I'll let you ask our guest.
Oh, about what was the last song you listened to, either on the way over or on your
No judgment.
no judgment?
If you're
It's just-
Swiftie.
If it's your own music, it's fine.
yeah.
We just love to hear the last song someone's listening to, and we've
Well, it's funny because I turned on the radio. I listen to KBCO mostly, so it's that genre, world class rock.
yeah.
But I
From
typically
Boulder,
listen
Colorado.
to podcasts or books on tape. For being a musician, I never listen to music in the car.
Wow, really?
Interesting.
Very seldom.
Oh, how funny.
So if you were at home and you put on,
Well, I
do you have a
listen-
playlist?
What's funny is, yeah, but I love everything.
Okay, but
I really do. I like singer-songwriters, but I'm trying to think of what was playing on the way over here. I don't even know.
okay, what's the last song you remember really listening to?
Yeah.
Like you just, I really like that song, and it can be an old. I mean, I
This
have
was
mine.
not by choice.
Okay.
This was at school.
Uh-huh.
I know I've listened to others because I listen to songs to learn them, obviously. But
Right.
this one stands out.
Uh-huh.
Last week, some kids were brought up "Careless Whisper" by George Michael.
Oh,
Y'all know? Do you know? the
Yeah.
song?
Yeah.
And
George
all
Michael.
right, I was a big Wham fan.
I love George Michael. Yeah.
Confessions. And George Michael's awesome. And that song, I think he wrote it when he was like 14. I don't know.
Oh
It's
my
a great
God!
song.
Wow.
Wow. I never.
And
that.
I could be wrong. Check my facts. But the kids were doing it. They had it playing on their phone. No phones in school, kids. And I started singing with it. And they don't even know I sing or do anything. And I started.
Singing.
Tonight the music seems so loud. I started going off, and they're like,
Whoa.
looking at me like, how do you? So now they always ask me, sing George Michael, sing
That's
George Michael.
hilarious.
Oh.
What's your
So that's
favorite
my
George
most
Michael
memorable.
song?
I would say that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
but,
Okay.
But in the 80s, what were you doing in the 80s?
Let's see. I was graduating from high school, starting college, and I got married in '88 for the first time.
It's when I got married.
Yeah. It stuck for
First
you.
and last.
I know.
37 years.
Congratulations.
Yeah, but
Wow. Yeah.
so we went
I
to
had
the
great
clubs.
experiences, but I'm on my third, and third time's a charm.
Third
so.
time.
So
Definitely
I don't want to get into that. So back in the day, we would go to these places like Thrills and Confetti.
Yeah, and what was his
all these
song? It
clubs.
was that
Wake Me Up Before You
Big
Go.
Go,
Wake
and then.
me up.
But what was his? Didn't he have he had a song all on his own that was really big? I thought back then.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
something.
But that's the one I remember the most. That just makes me think of,
Is he the one
Dancing
who
to that.
Brings you
sings,
back.
"I'm never gonna dance again"?
Yeah.
Guilty. That's
Yeah.
Careless Whisper.
Oh, that's the same.
Yeah, that's the
song?
same song.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
I can't think of the one. But anyway,
Well,
great.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
Thank you
being
so
on the
much for
podcast.
Kidding me? This was so much fun.
Really,
It was
and
so good to have
I
you.
mean,
So good to see
I-
you again.
You too.
love having
Afternoon.
ordinary people doing extraordinary things every day in our laundry room.
Yes.
We do. Thank you for being our NTRG.
NTRG is what? I never.
Not the real guest.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
there's a whole
Since
story. with
since
that.
you're not famous, because we checked it out. Because if you were famous, we wouldn't have been able to carry on with the interview.
Yeah.
So
But if you get famous
okay.
after the podcast,
yeah,
totally
that's
fine.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that might
totally
work.
fine.
Yeah.
Yep,
Really-
so that's okay. And we'll have you back no matter what. So
Yeah.
thank you for
That's so
sharing your
fun.
passion,
Thank
your
you guys.
stories,
Glad you're doing
and
this.
has
Yeah.
been awesome.
And
Yeah.
thank
Has
you
been
so
fun.
much for being such an amazing teacher to us.
Yeah,
today.
seriously.
You really were
Yeah.
our
That
favorite
means a lot.
teacher.
Yeah.
So we're very
Oh,
excited to have you
Aw.
on.
That means a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember all my teachers, and by far, yeah.
Yeah.
My
Oh,
wife can
that's
tell
good.
you how many days I come home. I suck, man. Ugh.
No, you were.
And then she
an
has to
amazing
remind you of,
She's like, oh, but
look at what, yeah.
this and that. I'm like, whatever. But
See, that's
Your
her-
students
at that
never saw
point.
it, I'm
it
telling
does
you.
mean enough.
We
mean a
never,
lot.
we
Yeah.
looked
Well,
up to you and thought the world
And
of
just
you.
being a
We all-
teacher.
we all
And then you went
Yeah.
back to it, a couple
Again
times.
and again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It was in my blood.
yeah, thank you.
So-
Thank you for your service.
Thank you guys
Yeah.
for doing
Okay.
this. Yeah,
Awesome.
All right.
loved it.
Thank you so much.
And thank
Wow.
you, Sudbuds, for listening. Hey, before we wrap up this spin cycle, Hoss and I would like to give a quick shout out to those listeners who may be famous. We really do adore you, and even though you do not qualify as an NTRG, not the real guest, we would always love to hear from you. This is Smarge and Hoss, keeping it sorted, keeping it real, from the family laundry room. Be safe, stay even, and remember, when in doubt, go half.
Thank you for listening to Dirty Laundry Clean Confessions. Follow us on Instagram at Dirty Laundry Clean Confessions. And if you would like to be the next Not the Real Guest, please email us at dirtylaundrycleanconfessions@gmail.com. We would love to air out the dirty laundry with you. A DLCC disclaimer. In this live pre-recorded episode of DLCC, Not the Real Names, NTRN, have been used to protect the guilty and a few of the innocent.